And that whilst your purpose
that
never
you've signed up to
changes, your
and we share together
changes from
is
time
to
time.
be your best in all you do.
And greatness can only be measured by the difference between before you showed up and after you showed up. If I look at the number of people whose lives have been transformed by your voice, that's how we measure your greatness.
There is a lot to go through today. I am going to give you content that will be valuable to you, content that will hopefully challenge you, motivate you, and just encourage you to take the leap and do this. If I've done my job well by the end of today, you should understand what podcasting is, and you should understand why not leveraging it is almost like craziness. If I've done my job well today. Okay, cool. Who is excited? I've lost the comment box. Okay, let me try and see if I can get it, because I have to be seeing your comments. Okay, fantastic. I got it back. Awesome. I'll put it down here. Awesome. So I'll start. Why a podcast? Not everyone listens to that. I know that I have people here already who are thinking, podcasting is not my thing. No. Okay, what I'll just say is calm down. Calm down. Don't worry, we'll get there and I'll explain to you. First of all, I want to check that you're in the right place. So you're in the right place today. If you want to understand the why of podcasting, if you want to understand the common pitfalls, the common challenges, you want to understand how to choose a concept, a theme. Generally, if everything just feels a bit like a big black box, like you hear people talk about podcasting, but it's just this big black box that you don't know anything about. You want to know, what goes into the cover, what gear do you need, how do you record, it's just too much, Tonbra. You are in the right place. Calm down. Everyone just say calm down, calm down. We're going to get to all of that good stuff today. But first of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I see my sister Eden there saying, share a little bit about your story. Okay, I'll get there. So my name is Tonbra, as you guys have heard. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, and I am a podcast host. I've got to update my bio, Simi, by the way. It's no longer brand new because now I've been doing it for a while now. So I completely get it now at this point. But I am a podcast host, but I am above the hood of being a podcast host, shall I say. So podcast host is my amplifier tool. It's the tool that I use to amplify my message. But what is my actual message? So I was I've been in the class for session 1 and 2 yesterday, where FD was teaching about the message. And it was just so good to just get that again, just that refresher. My message as a person is to equip women to go from being stuck to moving and manifesting themselves in their highest potential, particularly women who have had adversity, women who have had setbacks, women who have been disenfranchised is the word I use, disenfranchised by the limitations of the experiences that they've had. Basically, it's like remote control. They don't know that there is a remote control, but there is a remote control that is kind of stopping them. It's like you can only go thus far. It's like you just imagine like a boat where the anchor is at the bottom of the sea. You think you're moving forward because you're drifting at sea. So it looks like you're making progress, but you don't know that you're not actually going anywhere, because ever so often, as soon as you try and step out of band, there's that rope that just pulls you back and says, no, you're not good enough. No, you can't do that. No, you can't. And it's all of that things that's going on in your mind. So what I do is I help people, and I am super passionate about that. But like I said, the thing that I use to amplify my message is podcasting. And my name of my podcast is called the Unscathed Life Podcast. And it basically, unscathed is a word that just kind of defines, not being harmed. So lives that have, transcended the negative impacts on themselves, that are able to then go on and do great things, regardless of what has happened to them. Yeah, are you guys still with me? Awesome. But let's talk a little bit about how I got here. Like, Simi was speaking, like, where did this whole thought about podcasting come? Because I was like you, like podcasting, no, not for me. So how did I get here? So first, I started as part of the, lockdown and whatnot. I decided to show up. So basically, it was awesome. A lot of the stuff that Naomi was talking. I think, Naomi, you've pretty much done like 3/4 of my job for me. I want to say thank you first and foremost. It was just so great. A lot of things that you were speaking about were just like boom, boom, boom. I love the Google yourself. I know I'm definitely going to use that as well as part of the conversation today. So thank you so much. You did such a great job. But exactly, I was the person Naomi was speaking to like a few months back. Naomi would have said, jump on Instagram Live. You need to be visible. You need to do something. You need to get out there. You need to do something. So I started an Instagram Live talk show that I called Moments with Tonbra. Fantastic. It was an excellent start. So it just built that confidence within me to start speaking. So if you are a bit more reserved, you don't speak as well, but I was pretty much in your shoes. So take a lot of the advice that you're getting today. But I was speaking about different things. There wasn't really any theme, but then I got to the point where the message of resilience was revealed to me, and that came from my story. So for those who don't know, I know some people will know because people have been in different cohorts, but I have a very, very interesting story. At the age of 5 years old, first and foremost, my first setback is, as I say, it was in my mother's womb. That was where I had my first setback. She was giving money to terminate me. They already said that this one, she's not coming to add any value to this world. Yes, me sitting down right here, they had already said that. She has nothing to bring to the table. So my mother ran away and, she had nothing. She was super poor, super, super, super poor. So much so that on the day I was born, she had nothing. She was sleeping on the floor in somebody's house. She had me on the floor. She said that they had nothing. They even to cut my umbilical cord, they had to use like a dirty blade. She asked around and they, gave the blade and they cut it off. They had no clothes for me. They put me all in rags. But isn't it beautiful that today that I'm staying here, I'm standing here? And I love what Naomi said, the fact that your story is your gift. Your story is your gift, because now I speak about that, but I don't speak from a position of victimhood. I speak from a position of power, because I know that story is my gift. At age 5, my mother put me into, they basically didn't know what to do with me. When I was age 5, they put me in boarding school. There was like, there's nobody to take care of this one. So I was in boarding school. So I understand what it means to feel rejected. I understand what it means to feel abandoned. At age 6.5, my mother put a backpack on my back. She put a letter in my hand, and we took a taxi, and she pointed at a house in the distance, and she said, that is where your father lives. That's where you're going to be living. And basically the letter said, I've traveled out of the country. This is your daughter and you have to take care of her. So it was like my world turned apart, like at that age. And it was like going from one end of the spectrum, like poverty. I didn't have a bed until I was 7 years old. My first experience of actually owning a bed was 7 years old. Prior to that, I slept on the floor on a rubber mat. So it's incredible, because like I so understand it. If you're feeling alone, if you're feeling abandoned, if there are things within you that feel like, what, how can I get over this? What I would say to you is that rather than look at adversity as a thing that has come to destroy you, look at it as a stepping stone onto your next level. You must be able to leverage adversity. And, that's stuff that I coach on, and I'm more than happy to take you through that. But yeah, back to my story now, So so when my message came to me, I just almost had like there was just that thing that God was saying to me, that this is what you need to be talking about. Just how do people get back up again? How do they get back up? This is what, and I thought, what, I was going to be speaking to lots of people about, deep personal things. Did I want to do it on Instagram? I wasn't too sure. I felt like I started exploring my options, and I thought that podcast would give me, an opportunity to be able to do it in a way that I could, package it for posterity, that it will be there forever, it's not dependent on Instagram or a particular platform. I put it out there, and it's on the World Wide Web, and anyone can reach out to it. So that was that's kind of where I got to. And then I thought, what, I will start a podcast. I want somebody to say that Can somebody say that? I will start a podcast. I want somebody to say that, and I'm not going to move until I say that. I will start a podcast. I want you to, think about it, because the work is in your head. It's more in your head than actually the physical implementation of it. I got to a point and I said, I will start a podcast, and that is exactly what I did. And the pod, really, it's a well thought out way, and a well thought out way to impact a global audience, and that's exactly what a podcast will do. But let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. What is a podcast? If somebody here is thinking like I keep hearing podcast, I don't know what a podcast is. I want to give you a definition that I hope will stay with you. A podcast is a vehicle. It's a means for taking curated content, putting curated content on an audio or video file, which is made available on the internet as installments, which can be received by subscribers automatically. Yeah. So if you're thinking that is too wordy, Tonbra, I don't really get that. What I want you to focus on are the things in green. Vehicle, it's a means. Curated content, packaged properly. Internet, subscribers. So vehicle is something you package. Curated content, it's your refined message. So it's your message that has been distilled so that you have the essence of your message within it. Internet, it's your way to reach a global audience that is wider than the reach that you get on certain platforms. It's everybody. And subscribers, a raving fan base. Yeah. The packaging, refined message, global audience, and a raving fan base. Fantastic. I see some questions. People are hard on women when it comes to making video. They're critical of our hair, makeup, and so on. I think your message is more powerful, and I'm going to get to that. Your message is powerful, so it shouldn't be, how I look. Your message is bigger than how you look. However, podcasting does offer you the opportunity to do audio, which then becomes inconsequential. But thank you for that point, Ife. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons to start your podcast. So I want you guys to put in the comments board, reason to start my podcast, because this is you. This is your journey. This isn't about me. This is about you amplifying your message. So the first thing the podcast will do for you is that it will help you hone your voice, right? And it positions you as an expert incredibly quickly. Because once you start to have a catalog of conversations that you have had on a particular topic, people start to see you as a go-to person. So God gives you that message. You have that voice, but the honing and the refining of it, the making it such that people can hear it and consume it in a way that will impact them and change their lives, that's on you. That's on you. God's not going to come from heaven to do that. That is on you. Reasons to start your podcast. I love it. The second one is that it helps you develop content. There is nothing that helps you develop content as much as podcasting, because you know that it's serious business. I'm going on a podcast. I've got to think about what I'm going to say. People might be a little more informal sometimes about, other platforms, like you jump on and it's more casual. But a podcast is something that people tend to be a lot more formal about it. So when you're being formal about it, you will then build content around it. So you start to build content around your message. Your message starts like this little circle here, and then it starts to build, it starts to grow. Before you know it, you have 30 podcasts that you've been talking pretty much about the same thing. That's what I do. I pretty much talk about the same thing. Women who have had setbacks coming back up. So if somebody goes to listen to it, it's pretty much the same thing, but in different contexts. I'm giving people pictures of people who have done this thing that I talk about so that they can leverage it in their own lives, right? The third thing that a podcast will do for you is that it will build your personal brand. Nothing establishes the know, like, and trust factor like podcasting. it's like after a while they're like, okay, yeah, that's that girl that keeps talking about that. That's your personal brand. And you would have heard Fire Emeka. I don't call him Play Emeka anymore. Fire Emeka talking about personal branding today. I haven't had a chance to catch up with that session, but I know that it would have been powerful and you would have been talking about your personal brand. But one of the things that helps you is like sort of like the cornerstone of your personal brand is really, really, really the things that you do as part of that personal brand and how you amplify your message. And that's what it helps you do. It builds your know, like, and trust factor. Oh, and the one I absolutely love, digital footprint. Somebody say digital footprint, digital footprint. I loved when Naomi said, Google yourself. Oh my goodness. It would be embarrassing like, if you had Googled me prior to now, like prior to now when I started being visible. You wouldn't have seen much. That's the truth. Maybe my LinkedIn profile and a couple of other bits, but yeah. Podcasting helps you get your digital footprint. It puts that in check real quickly. Like when people Google you, they start to see your podcast. They start to see the kind of people you've been speaking to, you know. And also the thing is, I love the fact that it helps you get found outside social media. So one of the things that a lot of people think is that I'm doing lives and I'm doing all of that, I'm showing up, but it's all buried under the whole IG. Like if I've done like a ton of lives. Like I said, I used to do moments with Tonbra before I started doing podcasting. I still do IG lives, to be honest. I still do them. And but if you Googled me, you won't get my IG lives. But if you Google me, you'll get my podcast. So I'm just going to let that one sit on somebody's mind as I move on. Oh, it widens your network, high caliber calibrations. I love it. If I reached out to you today and I said, oh, I want you to come feature on my podcast, you are instantly thinking, I like it. Okay, podcast. Yeah, I love it because it's high caliber. People like that sort of affiliation. So once you have your podcast, you can start reaching out to people. People love that sort of affiliation because it's outside the normal conventional social media and stuff. People are like, okay, that's more sort of out there and people are thinking about it. So it's good. Product awareness. Somebody say product awareness. It helps you promote your product and services. If you've got product and services, bam, be talking about it on your podcast, left, right, and center. Like, okay, cool. We're just going to end the podcast and I've got this, buy my book, buy this, but you just go wild. It's your podcast. I love the fact also that podcasts, it gives you agency, global agency. You become your own media empire, essentially. It's like, it's whatever. I curate the conversations on this. So I am my media empire. I am the one that decides what I speak about. I produce the podcast. I decide what I want to put out there. I draft my show notes and a lot of what I'm going to be speaking to you about today. So it's all of that. You do that. So it's global agency for content that is true to your brand. There are no restrictions around that. And potential opportunities for sponsorship, speaking, and general selling. It's like, you know, if I approach somebody, for instance, and I said, you know what, you do something that is close enough to what I talk about, I want to work with you. And the person is like, wait, who are you? What? I can instantly say, look, I've been speaking about this for ages. Go check it out. You know, there's LinkedIn Live. If you want to apply for LinkedIn Live, they're going to ask you, like, what have you done? What have you been speaking about? Excuse me, who are you? You send them your link to your podcast. Look, I am a serious person. You can hear me here. So it's like your digital portfolio. So if you don't have a podcast, we need to change that. We need to change that. I see that. I love it. Digital footprint. That is powerful to be found outside social media. My sister Eden gets it. So I want somebody to actually type, I love that. I want to be found outside social media. I want somebody to write that down in the comment box as we go along. Toyin says we definitely need help there. Don't worry, I've got you. There are over 850,000 active podcasts around the world. So it is a valuable channel for content and audience growth. And also about 50%, half of podcast listeners are millennials. So these are the people with the ka-ching-ching. These are the people that have money. So just make sure that you've got their ear. I think is what I will put it. Make sure you're positioned in a way where they are, the ear is in close proximity. So this is another part that I absolutely love. When I was at the last session where I talked about this, what can your podcast content become? It's many things. It offers opportunities for repurposing like no man's business. Your podcast content can be a blog, social media post. It can be a blog post. So you get you have your podcast, you get the transcripts out, and you just pick a few things and just reflect on it, and that is a blog post in itself. And then the one that if you haven't considered, you're missing an opportunity completely. Your best-selling book. Once you have like 3 or 4 once you have a few topics that you've already talked, that essentially what podcasting does for me particularly, I'll tell you, is that it helps me draw out what I truly really think about certain topics in my niche, within my message. It helps me draw that out. And what I do most times is when I do my solo episodes where it's just me, all of that, I type everything out, and I just speak to it as I go along. But you have to speak in a way where your voice isn't flat. You speak in a way where it goes up and down and it's varied, so it's not drab and all that. But essentially, that then becomes it's content that you can use for your book. You literally lift and shift, boom, and that you just refine a few things, and that's content for your book. So, like, seriously, guys, why would you not want to do this? Are you guys with me? Before I go, are you guys with me? Can I see your comments coming through? What are you guys thinking so far? Do I still have the I want to be found out? I still have the I want to be found outside social media, people. Fantastic. I am starting my podcast. Can I get an I am starting my podcast in the comments section? So if you're thinking, oh my goodness, like nobody in Nigeria listens to podcasts, like seriously, look at the 40 most downloaded podcasts in Nigeria. There is opportunity. Like people in Nigeria listen to podcasts outside Nigeria because, like, seriously, they're not enough. But it's an emerging market in Nigeria. That's what podcasting is. It's an emerging market. It's there. People know about it, but it's not as widespread as perhaps, I don't know, social media, Instagram lives, and all of that. But that means what an emerging market is. It means it's opportunity. The synonym of emerge. It's opportunity. That's exactly what it is. So if you're not there here, if you're not, what you should be looking at is being there, being among the people who are doing this and starting to rank and all of that good stuff. Fantastic. Oh, I see Richard saying, I used to think people in Nigeria don't listen to podcasts, but there you go. They do. So let's debunk some myths. I know that some people are listening to this and thinking, now, wow. Tonbra, you don't know me. Nobody will listen. Nobody will listen to me. What do I have? The truth is that if you create value, your listeners will come. If you create value, your listeners will come. Yeah, I want someone to type that in. If you create value, your listeners will come. The second one is, I don't have a voice. But I'm to anyone who is even thinking that, I'm even where have you been? Have you sat in the same sessions that we've sat in for the last 2 days? Like, if this says that you are a word carrying a message to deliver to people, so you have a voice. So you choosing not to do anything with your voice is on you. Essentially, it has nothing to do with anybody else. You are a word. So now we come back to the more, maybe this is what they will call, maybe it's like the logical, like, well, but my voice, the practicalities, my voice isn't good, The truth is that your message is more important. than your voice. And that is the truth. Your message is more important than your voice. And the final one here is, it costs a lot. But, just even now that I'm thinking about it, what I should have put here, what has just come to mind is it costs less than it will cost you not to get your message out there. It costs less than it will cost you not to get your message out there. The people who need what you carry, they cannot wait. They need you right now. They need you. So podcasting is what will help amplify your voice so that your voice goes out there. Can I get an amen? I'm gonna try and move on. I love it. So this was where I was at the end of Speak for Gold 2, cohort 2. And I love how Naomi says is our papa, because it's like, like when our daddy said, the world is waiting, gold is waiting, God is waiting. I was shook. Literally, I was like, how will I get this my message? And it haunted me. What he said haunted me so much. I thought I would put in here, because the truth is that you have to let go of what does not serve you in order to do what you were created to do. In order to do what will serve your purpose, you have to let go of what does not serve you in order to do what will serve your purpose. So I want you guys to understand the criticality of what we're talking about here today. Okay, so this is where we shine. So I put a message out in cohort 5, and I said, you know what, anyone who has a message, anyone who has a podcast that is live, please share it with me. I want to, brag on you a little bit. So I'm going to start with you, Richard. Richard, it will be in the comments, I'm sure. He's got a podcast, the Edge Podcast, and I love the fact that he's just put it out there. He said, you know what, Tonbra, I've just started, but this is where I am. This is where I am. Perfection should never be an enemy for good. Never. Start where you are. Start where you are. With what you have, just start. And you can improve as you go along, but just start, because the person who needs your message, that little that you have done will be enough for them. That's the truth. So I've got my sister, Kemi Oye. She was in cohort 2, 3, or maybe 4, I don't know. She's got the Purpose Driven Career Podcast. I've got the Unscathed Life Podcast, which I've spoken to you about. My sister, Bralade, she's got the Stellify Podcast, where she makes people stellar. And my sis, Eden, she's coming with fire. Hey, in fact, I'm ready for that podcast. In January, Emerge with Eden is going to be out. So you guys just keep a lookout, because it's about to get hot. It's about to get hot. And what I'm hoping is that, we get to a point where one slide is not enough. We get to a point where 5 slides are not enough to showcase all the, Speak for Gold podcasts. We just have too many. I'm having to, ship this one here. I'm having to ship, it's a bit sparse at the moment, but I know that you guys are listening, and, we are going to see some changes.
Someone said, mindset is everything.
So I wanted to brag a little bit. Naomi, my sister, she spoke about it. I've got my, we had our, my podcast session I had with her launched today, and it was amazing. If you guys want to hear more about Naomi's story, she kind of touched on it here. Go on and check it out, the Unscathed Life Podcast. But I wanted to put a snippet just to kind of show you. It's a 1-minute clip of what we call an audiogram in podcasting, and that just kind of carries the essence in just 1 minute. I want you guys to hear it, and I hope you can hear. I'm going to increase the volume.
I believe everything produces after its own kind. And the truth is, whatever it is that you see around you that you like or you don't like, guess what? You produced it. And you might be quick to say, no, Naomi, you don't understand. Oh, yes, I do understand. because you have no control over how people will treat you. You have no control over circumstances that may come your way. However, you have control over how you choose to respond. And you are a sum total of your thoughts. Thoughts are creative forces, and they form the world around us, whether we're conscious of it or not. And so it's important for you to pay attention to what you're thinking. And one of the ways that I've helped my clients over the years is helping them create what we call a belief list, a new way of thinking, getting rid of the old way of thinking and creating a new way of thinking.
How, like, seriously, I want to see something in the comments box. Like, what did you guys think of that? Isn't that awesome? So that was her message, but it's been curated. So remember what I said, it's refined. It's not just, we're just speaking and it was, we've refined it. So that anybody who listens to it, listens and they're like, I can feel the fire. I can feel the vibe in this. That is what you do when you podcast. You carry your message and it's there for life. So the title of this podcast is, this actual episode is The Sparkle Effect from Setback to Spreading Light with Nwosuagwu. So that's there. You will always see that in Google. Even in 10 years, you'll see that. But if I did the same thing that I did with Naomi on Instagram Live, you won't, essentially. So I hope you guys take that. So I want to also brag more collaborations in the group. My sister Stelify, my sister Bralade, my sister Eden got together and created magic. Fire. So go and listen to episode 29. Listen to the entire Stelify podcast, but listen to episode 29 where Bralade did this interview with Eden. Fantastic. So you guys have heard all of that and you're like, okay, Tonbra, seriously, you haven't told me what I need to do. Who is ready? Who's ready? Who wants to learn about the lowdown? Who wants to know the lowdown? Who wants to know how to start their own podcast? Say, I am ready. And I'm taking notes of all of you who are saying I'm ready, because if I have to do this session, if I do a check in like 4 weeks, no, let me give you time, 12 weeks, and we're still being ready. I love it. I'm ready. Oh, seriously ready. Love it. I'm ready. Small shaka. Love it. Okay, cool. Let's go. You guys play too much. This is where we start the concept of your podcast. It starts with your message. So now it's perfect segue actually after Speak for Gold, because it's like a funnel. We've talked about your message. We've talked about getting it up. So now what else can we do with your message? Because your message is many things. It does many. You can be a coach. What else can you do with your message? Or how can we amplify this message so that more people hear about it? It starts. What would you like to give voice to? What are the things that came to your heart? What did you write in the parking lot of your book? What is that thing that you have the mandate now to do? And what is going to be your unique angle for your podcast? So now you have your mandate. What is going to be the unique angle that your listeners will expect from you every time you pick up the mic, the proverbial mic, physical mic? What is the thing that they will know that you will be saying before you open your mouth? That I call it. FD says that is when you know you have a message, when people can know what you will say even before you say anything. Yeah. And what topics can you talk about consistently relating to your message? What are the topics that you start to do that brainstorm? You start at the concept. Start at the concept. Boom. We're off to the next one. Boom, 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 boom. It now starts to get more interesting. We select a show name. You have to start with your ideal client, ideal listener. So your avatar, yeah? So you have identified them. So you create a podcast avatar. So this is somebody that feels that pain point. They feel they're in that space where it really, really gets to, like, your message, when they hear it, it's like you identify them. And why is it important to identify them? So that your message can be curated in such a way that it will touch them. Because if you don't know, you're just saying your message. The people who actually need the message might not hear you. as clearly because you're not speaking in a language, in a way that relates to them, that speaks to their spirit, that speaks to their core, that they engage with you. So it's always starts there. Why do they listen to you? You create a short list of probable names for your show. And something that is super important is that you test them out with a small group. That's something like I always say, do a little survey, I don't know, Survey Monkey or Instagram poll or whatever you want to do something so that people can tell you their feelings. Because a name might sound good to you, but it will not fly with the people that need it. So that's super important. I'll leave that one with you. Cool. So now we have a concept. Our concept has been refined. We have our name. The next thing we're doing now is our frequency. It's like, what can people expect from your podcast in terms of your consistency, or will there be none? Is it possible to share my screen? Can you guys not see my screen? I hope you can. Okay, cool. Okay, I got scared. Okay, cool. Someone put in the comments, is it possible to share your screen? Okay, cool. What is your rhythm? What's your pattern going to be? Are you going to do a podcast? Are you going to be one of those people? I think Naomi called them runaway or something. I can't really remember. Where you do a show today and then the next 2 weeks, nobody knows, because the truth is that people are watching. That's the truth. People know. People know if you're doing a weekly podcast and you don't release, people know. They're starting to think, well, you know, so whatever you decide that you're going to be your thing. It's a monthly podcast, but if it's a weekly podcast, if it's twice a week, whatever you decide, if it's a daily podcast, some people do like 15-minute daily podcasts. If it's a daily podcast, do it, but just be consistent. Let people know when you will be showing up. Show up consistently. Show up consistently. The next one is your segment types. And this is where it gets interesting, where you can almost kind of vary it for your listeners, where it's not just the same thing every day that you're speaking, you know, the same format. You can have Q&As, you can have interviews, you can have just, you know, you solos, you can have review products and services, you can do shout outs, you can talk about like there's so many things that you can do around your message that makes your message more they say is palatable. That makes your message more easier to digest. Like, okay, yeah. So you guys take that one away. Are you guys with me so far? Are you guys with me so far? So this is where I get to demystify, you know, the actual setup of a podcast for you, right? 4 things. You need the intro. So the intro is just what announces your podcast. This is the podcast by this person. So it's like a TV show. Would always be the start of the TV show where it's like the opening credits and there will be the ending credits and then there will be the middle bit where you actually have the event. It's exactly the same thing with podcasting. You have the intro, you have the outro. They are constant. They don't change for every show. So you record it once, put some music on the lay with some music, and that is it. You're good to go. Yeah. So intro, outro, remember that. And there are other things, but this is sort of like in the most basic terms. There are other things that I cannot share within this because there's no time, but in the most basic terms, at least you need intro and outro. You also need your artwork. You know, there are very specific requirements on some platforms like iTunes where there's still, you know, there's specific pixels, and iTunes, if you Google, you find iTunes says it's like 1,400 pixels by 1,400. Between that and 3,000 by 3,000, that's what you need. But for the artwork, so this is why if you're not creative, if you don't have a creative bone in your body, don't be tempted to do everything. Don't. Yeah, outsource. Get somebody on Canva, get somebody to design it for you. But if you're creative, then you can do it yourself on Canva. But don't. But at the minimum, and this is the thing. It's a thin line as well. I don't want you to be limited. Said okay, but I cannot design, but I don't have money to hire a designer. I would say just design whatever you can. If you see what I mean, the message is more important than all that shenanigans going on around it. Fantastic. And then your music. So remember I said the intro and the outro. So it's exactly like a TV commercial, like a TV show. You would have the music underneath the opening credits and closing credits. So it's exactly the same thing. So just make sure you've got good music. They set the tone for your podcast. Okay. Are you guys still with me? Can I see, are you guys still with me? Love it. Okay, let me go back. We are. Oh, fantastic. I can see all my podcasters in the house telling me they're excited and they're ready. Okay, so the next thing that we need is gear. Okay, so Tonbra, I'm not just going to record this, but what do I need? So the main thing is that you need a microphone. But again, I don't want you to be limited. I don't want you to say, well, I don't have money to get like an expensive microphone. Whatever you have, start where you are. Start where you are. That's what we're doing for podcasting. Don't start where you are. If I tell you the challenges I've had on my podcast, oh my gosh. My first episode, I have to share this story and it's embarrassing. My first episode, I bought the mic and the mic arrived on the day. I was green and I was just like, but I was just so determined, like this, I must do it. I must do it. I connected the I connected the USB from the mic onto the computer, and we had the entire show. And would you believe that I didn't realize that my microphone wasn't actually connected, that I needed to go into the application to connect my microphone. So I did the entire episode without a mic, just like my normal computer mic for it. So you could barely hear me. I was so like, I'd never been tempted as I was then, that spirit of perfectionism, just like, oh, you know what, it's not good enough, you throw it away, blah, 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 do it again. But the thing is that you cannot control those emotions again. What my guest said, it was an episode, it was my second episode actually with a guest. What she said, you can't make that up. Those feelings, you can't make it up. So there was no way I could go back to re-recording it. So I said, you know what, God, I'm just going to let it go in your hands, and I'll put it out there. Whoever needs it will listen to it. Thankfully, my guest's mic was working. But would you believe that till today, that is my most listened to episode? So this is just to let you know that it isn't about you. Even today, I spoke to a lady, and I was speaking to her, and she said to me that unsolicited, I didn't call her to talk about podcasts, I was talking about something else. And at the end of the conversation, just as I was about to get off the phone, she was like, oh, by the way, I just want to let you know that I love your podcasts. That the episode I love the most, and she referenced that same episode. I loved it. I loved what she talked about. It connected with me. I've been suffering depression. I was like, the episode that was not meant to be good, I didn't have sound from me. And I've had many other, I've had other things, like incidents like that, but I don't let it stop me anymore. I just say, you know what, whoever needs it. I've had it, where you save it, but you don't save it right. And then you end up, I've had all sorts, but I don't let it stop me. It's bigger than me. So someone say it's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I don't let it stop me. I just put it out there. The next thing, I love it. Whoever needs to hear it, don't stop. Exactly. Earphones. So it's always good. And I learned this one the hard way. You should always have headphones connected to your computer when you're recording. I'm not a sound engineer, but it does something with the sound where it's easier to go back and forth. So just remember that you should always wear headphones. And all you then need as well is the laptop. Just use a laptop, recorders, Skype, Zoom, and pretty much, as they say, Bob's your uncle. I'm going to try and move on. See me, how long do I have left? Hey, I can talk. Moving on. Recording your actual episode. So you've got a solo episode. If you're recording a solo episode, do it on your... Let me say so. You're recording a solo episode, do it on your computer. You've got a MacBook, do it on QuickTime application. But whatever native software for recording on your computer, your laptop, just use it. We're not doing, this isn't an physics. Whatever you have, just start where you are. Please, somebody say start where you are. Start where you are. Start where you are. That's what we're doing for this podcasting. We are starting as we are. We'll perfect as we go along. So just do it, whatever native software. The next is recording your podcast. You can use Zoom to record. If you've got guests, you can use Zencaster. You can use, there's so many. StreamYard, there's so many things that you can use to record. So there are so many. Hey, Jesus, okay. I'm going to try and hurry up. Okay, cool. Editing your podcast. So this is another outsourced one. If you're good at software editing on voice audio editing, then you can do it yourself. But I typically don't do it myself. I outsource it to someone. So if you don't have the necessary skills, just outsource it. And what editing is, just taking the mistakes. So when you're doing maybe, let me ask that question again. They'll take it. So remember, it's a refined message. We're curating it. So we take out all that so that even in 10 years, when you listen to it, it's like, okay, cool. We just have only what you, exactly. Richard says that he uses his phone. So it depends on you. Start where you are. Writing your show notes. So this is where you get a lot of SEO value. So like I said earlier, that you could use it for blogs and all that. So your show notes is exactly where you get it. So it's you just reflecting on the episode and writing out. So when somebody sees it, when somebody's Googling something that you've talked about, you've written it out there, they can just, it comes up and they're like, oh, okay, let me listen to this. Or you put it on Instagram and people are like, oh, okay. I get people, like the episode I put for Naomi today, people read the show notes and be like, oh, before they even listen, they're like, oh, I want to listen to this. So it's almost like a way to get people to listen, and then you can repurpose the content. Okay, are you guys still with me? Oh, thank you, Naomi. Naomi was like, best show notes ever. I loved it. Fantastic. So yeah, there is skill and all of that to that, but I'll get to that. So submitting your podcast. So there's 3 steps. So this is where exactly, you didn't say show notes or advertisement, there are. So this is where people get lost. A lot of times you'll find people that they've actually done all of that. They have gone through the work of doing the artwork. They've done all the recordings. And they just get to the point where it's submitting and launching, and they just lose their momentum. They're just like, I don't even know where to start. Okay, I'm going to just tell you three steps. Somebody say 3 steps. 3 steps to submitting and launching your podcast. What you need, the first thing is you need a podcast host. So what the host does for you is that it helps you create an RSS feed. Yeah, and I'm not intending to go technical with you. That's as technical as I will be. RSS feed. And you use that RSS feed to subscribe on other platforms. It's very, very simple. So you get your step 1, you're using whatever your podcast host. There's so many out there. I personally use Buzzsprout. I don't know why I haven't included it there, but I use Buzzsprout, but there's so many others that you can use. Once you get, and Buzzsprout's platform makes it super easy. You just, on the platform, it says directories, you go on directories and it shows you all the podcast directories. So you have Apple, iTunes, you have Google Podcast, you have Spotify. You go on there and it just copies your RSS feed for you into them, and then you Buzzsprout. Oh, sorry. It's Buzzsprout anyway. I don't know why I cannot. I'll type it out. But Anchor actually helps you also release on other platforms as well. It's very, so this is the thing. Some people talk about Anchor, I use Anchor, it's easy. I record it on my phone and all that, but I don't use Anchor personally. There's some caveats on Anchor, but there's some caveats. I don't use Anchor personally. I use Buzzsprout, but there's so many. And then the third one, I will not forget the third, is then you launch. The podcast is on the platform. You have it on the directories. It's plug and play from there. You just put it on Instagram. Hey guys, I've got a podcast. I've actually created like a WhatsApp distribution list. So every time I have a podcast, new episode out, I send them the audiogram, a snippet of the show notes, and an extra of the excerpt of the show notes on there. And some people, that's all they will listen to. Somebody listened to one of the audiograms, said, this was so powerful and it was exactly what I needed today. So that's it. Yeah, Naomi says there is a downside to Anchor. So you've got this. Somebody say, I've got this. You've got this. It takes work. but it is totally worth it. 10 years from now, your future self will thank you. Say, thank you, Tonbra, that you started 10 years ago. Thank you. Look at all the content you've amassed. Ooh, fantastic. People are rushing you. Come and speak at me. You can say, I've spoken about this topic before. You can even now start pitching yourself. So you have this conference coming and it's about this. Oh, I spoke about this topic. I'm right up your street. You need me. You change it, the dynamics. If you need hand-holding, somebody is listening to this and it's like, Tonbra, this is good, but I'm still overwhelmed. I don't even know where to start from. So I'll introduce you to Mercy. Mercy is on. I see your So what I did with Mercy was, I had this session with her and I'm super proud of my girl Mercy. Like Mercy, I literally Dr. Mercy. She reached out to me after I had the session at cohort 3. I spoke at cohort 4, sorry. She reached out to me and said, Tonbra, I need to get in on this podcast. I know you've talked about it. Your slides are very explanatory, but I still need help. I was like, okay, I had a session with her and literally I've been I started coaching her essentially for podcasting, and this is what she had to say. And this is our podcast. It's called Copyright and it's about breast cancer. Isn't that amazing? So that is what our message is about. She's going to be talking about breast cancer and all of that. And our podcast is going to be coming out imminently and it's super, super, super fantastic. And that's what she had to say about me. I'll let you guys read it because of time. The slides are going to be yours anyway. So, but fantastic. This is somebody else. She was in cohort 2. She reached out as well. I had that. It was a podcasting session that I had. And she was like, I have zero knowledge. My message is about diabetes. I want to get it out there. I need you to help me. And I've got a one-on-one package. Before you message me and say, please, package, one-on-one package. You guys, can get in on it, and I would hand-hold you and guide you, read all your scripts, make sure that you're saying you're saying and you're speaking, and help you in that funnel, to distill your message to your listener and make sure that, it goes smoothly. But I then thought, you know what, there was still a lot of people who reached out to me and said, you know what, I kind of know what I am doing. But I feel like I still need help. So I thought, how can we make it like a, speak for gold, something that just helps draw out your message and all that. So I said, you know what, I created this workbook and it's called the Podcast Plug. And what it is, it's 33 pages of end-to-end goodness, guides, workbook that covers everything. So everything I've talked about goes into like tiers and tiers of detail. It helps you link your message with a listener, workbook for identifying topics, how your podcast framework should be, writing, giving you actual scripts for writing your podcast show description, scripts for your intro, scripts for your outro, scripts for your trailer, which I didn't touch on, but it's something you need, straight for your show notes, everything. It just kind of completely gives you a plug and play model where you have this and you just work through it. And this is exactly what you need to be launching your podcast in 2021. It's on my website, unscathed.me. If you go to the shop, you'll have access to it. I haven't sorted out buying from Nigeria yet, but I'll get that sorted I'll get that sorted imminently. And the super great thing about this, I am invested in you getting your podcast. So this is not going to break the bank. It is super cheap. It's £20. It's literally not going to kill you, but it will help you. The cost of you getting out your message is way more than that. Fantastic. Have I got any more slides? So this is where I want to end, guys. What will I do with my voice? What will I do with my voice? What will you do with your voice? It is time for you to step off the boat. It is time for you to step off the boat. The future is inside of me. I want somebody to write, the future is inside of me in the comments, right? The future is inside of me. I want you to remember that. I want you to, meditate on it. These slides are going to be yours. So just come back to it as many times as you need to. Remember that the future is inside. Your future self will thank you for the decisions that you're making today. Fantastic. So this is my website, onscate.me, Instagram handle, tonbra.nwosuagwu, and I'm at happy@onscate.me via email. And you have my slides for 1 week. Feel free, it's onscate.me/slides. Feel free to get in on that. And yeah, if you like this, share your takeaways. You've got the review system on Speak for Gold anyway. Just let me know it added value to you. And then my podcast, hey, I have to plug for my podcast. Just subscribe, rate, review, comment, whatever. Just go on and listen to the Onscate Live podcast. And I've got a YouTube channel as well.